Welcome to Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Virtual Church. My name is Beth Calvert, and I'm glad we can get together even if we cannot actually be together yet. Today we're fortunate to visit with Margaret Fuller, a leading light of liberal religion in the 19th century and an early feminist. We asked her to write something for the lighting of the chalice. All around us lies what we can neither understand nor use. Our capacities, our instincts for this, our present sphere, are but half developed. Let us confine ourselves to that till the lesson be learned. Let us be completely natural before we trouble ourselves with the supernatural. I never see any of these things, but I long to get away and lie under a green tree and let the wind blow on me. There is marvel and charm enough in that for me. Margaret Fuller could be a little too taken with herself, and that led to a prickly relationship with others and a tendency to hyperbole. At one point in a conversation, overcome with emotion, Margaret Fuller cried out enthusiastically, "I accept the universe." Hearing of this, Thomas Carlyle, the Scottish historian, said, "By God, she'd better." We all have different reasons for gathering here each week, but we have this much in common. We work together as a church to transform ourselves, our community, and our world by sharing love, pursuing justice, and seeking wonder. For a prelude today, Kim brings us a traditional song, "Ain't Nobody's Fault But Mine." Women are the portals of human life on this earth and often the interpreters and storytellers for our communities. This particular version of the song could be heard as an ode to the classic debate of nature versus nurture. We do our best to guide our children in life, but ultimately it is up to them how to use their gifts.
Well, ain't nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Well, if I die and my soul be lost, nobody's fault but mine. My mama taught me how to pray. My mama taught me how to pray. Well, if I die and my soul be lost, my mama taught me how to pray. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Well, if I die and my soul be lost, nobody's fault but mine. My mama taught me how to sing. My mama taught me how to sing. Well, if I die and my soul be lost, my mama taught me how to sing. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Well, if I die and my soul be lost, nobody's fault but mine. Now my mama taught me how to fly. My mama taught me how to fly. Well, if I die and my soul be lost, my mama taught me how to fly. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Well, if I die, my soul be lost, my mama taught me how to fly. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. 'Cause my mama taught me how to sing. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. My mama taught me how to pray. Ain't nobody's fault but mine.
We'll sing Loving Kindness next. please light a candle to dispel the darkness, to honor someone or some event, or to bring light to a memory.
My name is Jeff Briere, and I am the minister of this virtual church. I hope you're safe and well. Please remember to wear a mask in public, avoid large indoor gatherings, keep your distance from other folks, and when you can, get vaccinated. We are fortunate this morning to visit with Margaret Fuller. Sarah Margaret Fuller was born May 23, 1810, and she was an intelligent and precocious child who learned Greek and Latin at a very early age. When she was 29, she established formal conversations on various topics, primarily for women, and they were very successful for a number of years. She was close friends with Ralph Waldo Emerson and would visit in his home, teaching him German and talking. She was a brilliant and thoughtful conversationalist, much respected for her intellect and her learning. When she was 30, she became the editor of The Dial, a literary and philosophical journal for which she wrote many articles and reviews on art and literature. Charmed by her writing, Horace Greeley asked her to join his newspaper, the New York Tribune, as a book review editor, and she branched into art and cultural reviews. In 1845, she published Woman in the 19th Century, and it became a classic of feminist thought. When she was 36, she traveled to Europe as a foreign correspondent, meeting many European intellectuals and writers. In Italy in 1847, she became involved in the revolution, and she fell in love and married Marchese Giovanni Angelo de Soli, a fellow revolutionary. When the revolution failed, they decided to sail to America. The captain of the ship died of smallpox, and his less accomplished replacement ran the ship aground in a storm within sight of Fire Island, New York on July 19, 1850. She and her family drowned as the ship went down. She was 40 years old. Her friends looked for her manuscripts or other remains, but they were lost to the sea and to scavengers. Would you please welcome now to the 21st century, Margaret Fuller.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's quite exciting to be here. The journey was, how shall I put this, time-consuming.
Yes, I can imagine. Do you prefer Signora Asoli or Ms. Fuller?
Miss Fuller, if you please.
Of course, Miss Fuller.
I have learned that everything is attainable. I am determined on distinction, which I thought to win at an easy rate. But now I see that long years of labor must be given to secure even a small success, which, however, shall never content me.
Well then, what is it that you wish to accomplish?
I see multitudes of persons of genius utterly deficient in grace and the power of pleasurable excitement. I wish to combine both.
We have heard of your meetings with women that you call conversations. I understand that you gather several women in a bookstore or someone's home for lectures and discussions. Now, could you tell us why you have decided to organize these conversations?
Well, the advantages of such a weekly meeting might be great enough to repay the trouble of attendance, even if the meetings only supply a point of union to well-educated and thinking women. The city boasts nothing of the kind at present.
I assume you mean Boston.
Is there another? I have heard many of mature age wish for some such means of stimulus and cheer, and for a place where they could state their doubts and difficulties with a hope of gaining aid from the experience and inspiration of others.
But what is the point?
Firstly, to suggest topics which would lead to a conversation of a better order than is usual at social meetings, so that what is invaluable in the experience of each might be brought to bear upon all.
A deeper conversation for everyone.
I wish to assemble a circle to answer the great questions. What were we born to do? How shall we do it? I should think the undertaking a noble one, and if my resources prove sufficient to make me its moving spring, I should be willing to give it a portion of those coming years, which will, I hope, be my best.
But how is it that you, Margaret Fuller, came to be interested in all this? What drives your interest in answering these great questions?
It came to me on Thanksgiving Day when I was 21. I was obliged to go to church, or exceedingly displeased my father. I was in haste for the service to be over, that I might get into the free air. And after the service, I walked over the fields till I came to where the trees were thick, about a little pool, dark and silent. I sat down there. I did not think. All was dark and cold and still. And suddenly, the sun shone out with that transparent sweetness. And just then, passed into my thought a beam from its true sun, which has never since departed from me. I remembered I asked myself, how came I here, and how is it that I seem to be this Margaret Fuller? What does it mean, and what shall I do about it? I remembered all the times and ways in which these same thoughts returned. I was, for that hour, taken up into God, and I returned in a state of prayer.
That sounds like a religious experience. Would you tell us about your religious views, Miss Fuller?
I wish to arrive at that point where I can trust myself. My character has its natural regulator. My heart beats, my lips speak truth. I can walk alone or offer arm to a friend. Or if I lean on another, it is not the debility of sickness, but only wayside weariness. This is the philosophy I want. This much would satisfy me.
Then, are you saying that you prefer to seek your own religious truths without help from another?
Well, I think it is best I should go through these conflicts alone. The process will be slower, more distressing, but the result will be all my own, and I shall feel greater confidence in it.
Do you attend church?
I do not reject the church, but let men who can live in it. I worship less than in the places set apart for that purpose. The blue sky, seen through a window, preaches better than any brother, because it presents a freer, simpler medium of religion.
Well said. I shall endeavor to be a freer, simpler minister. You have presumed to tackle the state of all women in your book, Woman in the 19th Century. Can you tell us what it is that you wish to change about women?
I don't presume to change very much. I have no doubt that a large proportion of women would give themselves to the same employments as now, because there are circumstances that must lead them. The difference I would desire is that all need not be constrained to employments for which some are unfit. I have urged on woman independence of man. Well, now, I believe the sexes are mutually needed by one another, but in woman, this fact has led to an excessive devotion which has cooled love and degraded marriage and prevented either sex from being what it should be to itself or to the other.
What should woman be?
Oh, I wish woman to live first for God's sake, and then she will not make an imperfect man her God. Then she will not take what is not fit for her from a sense of weakness and poverty. And then, if she finds what she needs in man embodied, she will know how to love and be worthy of being loved. By being more a soul, she will not be less a woman, for nature is perfected through spirit. Today there is no woman, only an overgrown child. Let me tell you a story. Once 3 fine figures stood before me. The father, an intellectual, his eye softened by affection as he looked down on his fair child, and she, the image of himself, only more graceful and brilliant in expression, and he spoke to his wife of education. I shall not have my daughter brought too forward. If she knows too much, she will never find a husband. Superior woman hardly ever can. Surely, said his wife with a blush, you wish Maria to be as good and wise as she can, whether it will help her to marriage or not. No, he persisted. I want her to have a sphere and a home and someone to protect her when I am gone. Well, it was a trifling incident, but it made a deep impression. If this man could have looked at it from the other side, he would have seen that he would not have been willing to be married only for the home and protection he could give. But men do not look at both sides.
You have lived in Europe and traveled more than most, and you must have seen much that represents the worst of mankind, and yet you remain hopeful. Why is that?
Once I saw how idle were my griefs. I felt that nothing which was fit for me could long be kept from me. I was sure that I would never starve in this desert world, but that manna would drop from heaven if I would but rise with every rising sun to gather it. In the evening, I went into the churchyard. The moon rose above the pointing spire. At that hour a vision came upon my soul. The rosy clouds of illusion all vanished, and the moon waxed to full. And a prayer came to me then. Our Father, let not the heaviest shower be spared. Let not the gardener forbear his knife, till the fair, hopeful tree of existence be brought to its fullest blossom and fruit.
And nothing you have witnessed, no one you have met, has ever shaken your hope for a better future?
I stand in the sunny noon of life. Objects no longer glitter in the dews of morning, neither are yet softened by the shadows of evening. Always the soul says to us, cherish your best hopes as a faith, and abide by them in action.
Cherish your best hopes as a faith. May I quote you?
Certainly, and abide by them in action.
And abide by them in action. Your presence here gives us great pleasure, Miss Fuller. Thank you for making the long journey to be with us. We wish you all the best.
All the best. A curious expression.
Our benediction today is adapted from the writings of Margaret Fuller and was written in her honor for the centennial of her birth. We seek in nature and in art for ways to comprehend the meaning that our life unfolds, what makes us break or bend. Within each leaf and brush of paint are traits we apprehend, and in these patterns we can find a life that's without end. All women and all men alike may freely use the mind, and thus from thoughtless mannered ways a truer pathway find. But also freely let's employ imagination's part that dwells inside of every soul and makes of life an art. No matter what our circumstances, our nature is to grow, and in that growth we may discern the gifts we can bestow. Our time together is nearly finished, but our work is not done. May our spirits be renewed and our resolve strengthened as we meet challenges of the week to come. Please help me close this service now. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. My name is Summer, and I'm happy that you could join us for this service. Please come back whenever you like. We'll post another virtual church service next Sunday. Please contact the minister or the caring team if you or someone you know needs help during this time. Our services are recorded in advance, so current events may move faster than our ability to address them in a timely fashion. However, you can find up-to-date information on local events, social justice issues, inspiration, and content for all ages on our Facebook page. Wendy has our post loop today, I'm a Woman. And as you make your way through the week, remember that you are good, you are loved, we all need a little work, and we are all in this together. Nothing left to say but, yay, church.
They always call me the weaker sex, and they treat me like I'm breakable. But I've proven myself throughout the centuries that I give life strength and hope. I am a woman. In times of war, they've used my body and desecrated everything I am. They try to make me believe I am not my own, but I choose to live life with strength and hope. I am a woman. I am a woman. see over here, the ones I love, I'd give anything to see them fly. I've sacrificed everything I could, 'cause they give me life, strength and hope. I am a woman. I am a woman. God made no mistakes when He made me. I am a woman, and I can persevere through anything you send my way. I am a woman. I can get down on my knees and pray the devil back. I am a woman. I am a woman. I am a woman. They always call me the weaker sex, but I am